You know, there used to be an old adage that you could actually spend a lot more on your optics and your scope than you actually did on your rifle. Well, thanks to Hawk Sport Optics, a lot of that is changing. Affordability in the world of optics is coming down in price and rising in value. Joining me is Mike from Hawk Sport Optics. Mike, thanks for taking the time to join us. We know that you can spend money, whether you're going to go super expensive, whether you're going to go high quality, whatever your budget is. If you don't know how to mount it, you're not going to get maximum capability out of it, are you?
That's true, Randy. Most of the time when a person has a problem with a scope, it has to do with the mounting system, whether it's the rings or the bases are in misalignment, and they end up having to over-adjust to compensate for those misalignments, and they run out of adjustment on the scope, or they start having a point of impact issue, and then we get a phone call.
Or I'm bending this, you know what, out of my tubes,
yeah, sometimes they will crush the tube, yes.
Yeah. So show us what we're going to be doing here insofar as how to correctly do this.
We're going to take this Winchester, and we've already installed a set of Weaver bases on it. We've removed the bolt, so there's no ammunition in it. It's safe. And we're going to mount a set of rings and this night eye scope on there.
Okay. Now these are also known as the Picatinny.
Those are a Weaver base, but a Picatinny rail. These rings will actually go on that Picatinny rails.
All right, and that goes and it locks down here.
We're going
so all
to
you're going to do is open it up, claw it open.
Open it up, drop it in the locator slot, and tighten it back down.
Okay.
Before we tighten this front ring, we're going to slide it to the front of that locator slot so that the recoil will not push this ring
out or back. Okay, all right.
And then we'll do the same with the rear one, but we'll move it back so that it's to the farthest extent of its line.
Now you've got a bunch of little gadgets and gizmos and all sorts of fun stuff here. And one of the things I noticed as you're putting this on, one of these bases right here, one of the rings, has got almost like a little tire tread.
Yes, it does.
Inside.
It's an adhesive liner.
This is something from Hawk, right?
This is a Hawk exclusive.
Okay.
This is an adhesive liner. It has small capillaries of an adhesive in there, and when the ring is properly tightened down, the adhesive capillaries will erupt, and they will adhere themselves to the scope. Now, it is reversible. It's not a hard adhesive. It's a mild adhesive. So it will be able to take it back apart, clean it, and then remount a different scope if you like.
All right. Nice innovation. I don't have to use Loctite or anything like that.
That's great, and the scope will not move.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the actual...
We're going to remove the ring caps.
Ring caps, okay.
So we can drop the scope in there.
We took the top of the rings
ring
off.
caps, yep.
We put the scope in there. We've attached everything back in. Now, Mike, you told me the first thing you want to do before tightening anything down is make sure that you got the eye relief.
That's correct. We want to achieve proper eye relief so we have a full vision through the scope.
Okay.
And in order to do that, we will shoulder the gun just like we were going to use it, push the scope as far forward as we can, and then pull it back till we have an exact full view of eye relief, and then pull it back just another 1/4 of an inch.
Why?
Because when you get out to your hunting situation, you're most likely going to have more clothes on, and it's going to move the scope another 1/4 of an inch away from you, and then your vision would be distorted. So we want to get that out of the way right now.
So now I got eye relief, but I can still have other problems because I don't even know if the scope is level, if it's true, up and down. Tell me, you put a little bubble over here. What's that going to do for me?
That's correct. This bubble level I've installed on here is so I can level the gun base in the holder here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to drop on just a small bubble level on top and rotate my scope until it is exactly level.
So I'm going to make sure it's true this way, and...
That will make our parallax straight up and down.
Right, okay.
So we have everything level, so we will shoot a straight line, we won't shoot off to an angle.
Okay.
And when we adjust, now it will adjust straight up and down, and now down and over.
So now we're going to attach it down.
So now we will go ahead and tighten all of our cap screws down to 16 inch-pounds. Which will release the capillaries of epoxy.
So all right, so the little bit of adhesive is now in there doing its thing.
And it will not move.
Yeah.
It would be
okay.
stationary at this point.
All right. Now, but before I take it out onto the range, what am I also going to do?
We want to use this collimator, and we can check and see how close we are to being straight with the bore.
And again, I could leave this in my lead sled the whole time. I mean, this is not something I really want to be picking up and dropping down.
That's correct. You can do it
more
all.
steady, more better.
That's
right?
correct. You can do it all right here in the sled. The collimator now is installed, and it's a graph, and the graph is broken off into 4-inch squares.
Okay.
We don't want to move this more than 15 minutes of angle if we can help it. If there is, that's an alignment problem. So what we want to try to do is, if this is in the center of that collimator, then we are good to go. We'll just go ahead and pull it over there with the adjustments for the windage of elevation.
So at this point then, with everything secure, let's say I'm within 1.5 or 2 MOA, minute of angle, I should be ready now to go out and take it to the range.
Right, we'll just dial this right over to the center.
And you're making it look really easy because of the adjustments that you can make out to
And we
infinity.
are in perfect alignment with the bore at this time.
All
So
right.
we're ready to take it to the range.
So on that happy note, let's go shoot some shells.
All right.